Hello and welcome back to another video session on Vedic astrology. In this video session I am going to talk to you about a very important reference point in your chart that is called Upapada. This is a very important reference point because in Brihad Parashara Horashastra the Maharshi has given a separate chapter for this. Most of the astrologers have ignored what is called UL or Upapada Lagna. This is a point that is calculated like any other Arudha Lagna, the same thing, but the reference point is always the 12th house. So we'll take up a few examples to know how the Upapada Lagna has to be marked in your horoscope as UL. This is the method. Mark the 12th house because the 12th house is actually the main house that is connected to the calculations of Upapada Lagna. So the 12th house, if the person happens to be born in the ascendant of say Aries, then Pisces will be the 12th house. So mark that as the point from where you are going to count, or how many signs has Jupiter moved away from the 12th house. So when you do any counting in astrology, always count from the point where you start as number 1. So in this case, the 12th house is number 1, and so count from there. And in this horoscope, the sample horoscope that we have, Jupiter, let's say, is in Thula or Libra. So counting from Pisces, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you reach 8. So from Pisces, Libra is on the 8th place. So it means that Jupiter has moved 8 signs away from the 12th house. So keep this in mind, number 8, and count the same number from Jupiter. So from Jupiter you start counting 8, and that will be Taurus or Rishabha Rasi. So this house, Rishabha, is called the UL or Upapada Lagna. So mark it as in pencil as UL, and this will be a very important point if you are trying to find out more about the person's experience in marriage. And it is not only about marriage, it is about even children. So Maharshi Parashara says more about the longevity of marriage, the quality of marriage, and your experience with children can be known from the Upapada Lagna. So what we do with this will be taken up in a different video, but in this video I am just going to concentrate on how to calculate. This is the normal method, but there are exceptions to this way of counting. Maharshi Parashara also says that the same house or the 7th from that house cannot be the pada of that particular house. To clarify this point, let us do an example. Let's say a person is born in Simha Lagna or the ascendant of Leo. Now we have to calculate the Upapada Lagna for this person. The 12th house is now the reference point, and from the 12th we have to find out how many houses the moon has gone away from the 12th house, because the 12th house is ruled by the moon. So in this example horoscope, we are having the moon in Makara, so that is Capricorn. So from the 12th house, moon has gone to the 7th house. So now we have to apply the rule of exception, because if it is in the 7th, we have to count 7 again from the moon which is in Makara, and therefore we will reach the 12th house again. So if you do not use exception for this example, you will have to say the UL is the same as the 12th house, but that is not allowed. So what do? The rule says count from the 12th house again 10 houses. and that will be Aries. So in this case, the UL will be in Aries or Mesha. This person is born in Makara Lagna or Capricorn ascendant. Therefore, the 12th house belongs to Jupiter. So we are going to calculate the UL for this horoscope, in which Jupiter is placed in the third from the ascendant. So, which is Pisces. So from the 12th house, count how many houses Jupiter has gone ahead. So clockwise always. So from the 12th, then from the 12th, which is Sagittarius, you count 1, 2, 3 and 4. So Jupiter is in the 4th from the 12th house. So count the same number of houses from Jupiter again, and you will land into Gemini or Mithuna. But that's where you have to actually place the UL according to the main rule. But the exception says that from the 12th house, the Pada cannot fall on the 7th from that particular house. So in this case, it is falling on the 7th from the 12th house. So in that case, the same exception rule says that continue counting. Okay, continue counting from the same point where you left it just now, where you are supposed to put the UL. Count 10 more. So from Mithuna you count 10 and you come back to Pisces, which is where Jupiter is already in. So you will have to mark UL in the same place where Jupiter is, in this case. So I've given you some examples. If you want to become thorough in the calculations of the Upapada Lagna, then you will have to experiment or do some more exercises. The best way to start is start marking the Upapada Lagna in all the horoscopes that you have in your collection. So in the rest of this video, we will have slides which will explain to you with more examples on how to calculate the Upapada Lagna. Many of the computer horoscopes today lets you know where the UL is. So in case you have not yet understood on how to calculate the UL, don't worry, you can still use the software. Thank you.